Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our April Roundtable. We're going to begin this evening with our opening. Is that better, guys?
Well, I just can't see my mouse.
Oh.
Not you.
So please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Yep, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Scout sign. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey Scout law, to help other people at all times, keeping myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Thank you. For those of you who are here in person, the attendance sheet will be coming around. You have your tags for all of the maple and pancake little noshes at the back. Please be sure to vote because we do have an award for the winning chef this evening. And I will turn it over to Greg.
So last month, I gave this reminder. You may have seen it already in your emails. Effective September 1st, the 72-hour rules being eliminated, and with an exception for Cub Scouts, all adults staying overnight on any Scout outing must be registered leaders. The exception for the Cub Scouts is that it needs to be the legal parent, legal guardian of the Scout, since that's a scouting or a family-based program. So look for more information. The recommendation has been started as soon as possible, but it is effective September 1st. NYLT registration's up. Mary, anything you want to share?
We're excited. We have staff. We're looking forward to it. We would love everybody to come join us this year. We have new leadership in place. So,
all right, registration's online website with the /NYLT. Since we're talking about Mary,
IOLS, come join us. Registration just opened Saturday. Moses Scout reservation April 29th and 30th. Scott Gagne will be leading the course. We will be there. Come join us for lots of skills, friendship, fellowship, and food.
Chainsaw training was just added by the ranger. If you have not been to camp, there are a few sticks on the ground of various sizes, and we are looking for folks to be able to help us clean up for the spring and for our summer season. But to operate a chainsaw, you do have to have the BSA training or have professional training from your career. So that's available that same last weekend of April, $35 if you just want to come learn about using a chainsaw safely. If you're already part of the maintenance team or willing to help out, there's no charge for that training at all. More information online on that weekend. And Baloo, Greg, do you want to share anything about Baloo?
Sure. Baloo is coming up at the beginning of May. Have a good staff preparing to get ready to go. And if you're a Cub Scout leader and haven't had Baloo training or have members of your pack that need it, send them out. The more the merrier.
Summer camp early bird deadlines for deposits for this weekend. We saw a great response for that. There are still plenty of rooms for Scouts to attend throughout the summer. Week 2 is closed overnight unless your unit's already registered. But day program is open all summer long, and unfortunately the price has gone up to the regular price at this point in time, but still accepting registrations there. And camp staff is greatly needed. Some particular areas are our waterfront, in our food service area, dining hall, and our climbing areas. So there are, and Cub Scouts. So that's not the only ones, but if you know folks interested, if they're 15 years of age or older, And if they're available throughout the summer, fabulous. It's a June 25th through, I think it's about August 7th or so commitment. If they're only available for part of it, we'll talk to them and see if we can make something work for everybody.
Right. The week 5 specialty camp, will there be provisional
Yep.
options that we can just checking and making sure?
Yep. Pinewood Derbies, Metacomics is coming up April 15th. Registration is open. Encourage Cub Masters or somebody from their unit to register all the scouts ideally. But individuals can do that. A reminder, there is an open class. Anybody that is not registered kindergarten through 4th grade for Cub Scouts can enter in the open class. And then Council Derby's coming up May 21st. Weeblos Woods, anybody here for Weeblos Woods? So all I have right now is the dates and waiting for final information to open registration officially. Scouts BSA, Merit Badge University, I heard weekend 1 went well.
Yes.
Yes, some thumbs up. The second weekend is April 22nd. The Spring Camporee, is anybody here from that group? Hearing none, it does have an exciting Indiana Jones theme and is going to be hosted at the Hancock Shaker Village. First weekend of May. Hunter McCormick and Joshua Hall are putting that together. They are going to be incorporating the BSA Historic Trail that is at the Shaker Village and having competition activities there as well. So it'll be camping in the field at that area. And registration is open. Prices are online. And Hunter is also asking if anybody's interested in helping to please reach out to him for that. The American Legion Camporee is in June, and this year it really is open to most any scout group. If they can, they go online and see the opportunities there. They're looking for American Legions to sponsor them in a way, but they do not need to be the charter organization. And their goal is to have 50 scout troops there for their 50th anniversary. And more information on our site that takes you to the main site. And our local contacts are Kathy and Abby Thibodeau from Southampton area and the Westfield units. Mass Jam in the fall, exciting.
Yay!
So plan for it now. We talked about ways to get involved. The next 2 work days are the first Saturdays of the month. And again, Ranger Tim is asking for anybody that's available. If you can't make it the whole day, come for part of the day, help out. And if it happens to be that a weekday works better for you, give him a call. And if he can make it work for you, he'll find an area and support you if he can, or find a buddy for you. Couple, I put it as civic service, but just engagement opportunities coming up. The Earth Day at the Springfield Museums is April 16th. It's a great opportunity to get involved with Earth Day and be part of our greater community. We usually have a table making bird houses. There's other opportunities to help out at that event. So if you look on our calendar, there'll be more information coming for all of these. The report to the Commonwealth for the Boy Scouts of America is Thursday, April 20th. And there's a sign-up sheet online that if you, your families, your units have the ability to go to Boston that day, visit the site, reach out to Art Lebdell to get involved. It's a great opportunity to be involved in that report and have some tours of our state capitol. And then more information to come on these other things, but the Westfield Air Show, the second weekend of May, and the world's largest pancake breakfast. So look online for more information soon. All right. And Ellie, that's it for me. I don't know if our commissioner's with us today.
I believe it might be. Greg, do you know if there's another meeting going on downstairs or something?
There is.
Oh, okay.
I'll try and edit them.
So,
Yeah.
right.
Yep. You guys are in Gary's office.
I just thought I'd come say hi.
Someone forced me to eat some very tasty maple.
Here, bring a cake, Gary, force Gary. I'm not gonna take long.
All right, I don't hear Joshua, so I'm just going to advance to district updates.
All right.
All right.
So I have this for district updates and one council one. The Silver Beaver nominations are due April 30th. They can be sent to Lindsay Broder at our office or directly to Joshua Hall. And those will be presented at our council annual meeting Monday, June 19th. And anybody for Appalachian Trail, I put information up about their awards dinner. Anybody for General Knox?
Now,
Well, yeah, the information is there, Zod Park in Chicopee. Pretty straightforward. It's a potluck picnic. If you came last year, it's like that. Basically, hamburgers, hot dogs will take care of that stuff. It will do potluck salads and other stuff. And I'd say kind of the same as the Appalachian Trail. We need to have training award submissions, please, and also just for merit nominations and all that sort of thing.
When's your cutoff date for awards to be handed in?
We need to finalize that. Let me see, May 21st.
yesterday.
Well, they're gonna be like, the district award of merit, that takes a little while to, make a decision, whatever. It's like, like the first week of May. The other ones, as long as they come in, a week or so ahead of time, we can, like a training award, we can turn them down.
So let's put in the third week of April.
So May 21st is a Sunday, so May 4th, May 12th. How about May 12th?
May
That's
12th.
a Friday.
Just realize that the council store only stocks so many of
Right.
the awards, but they
Yep.
certainly can do certificates
So,
and get.
but, yeah, as soon as possible as well.
And as far as I know, Metacomet is talking dates, but I haven't heard of
The
final.
email I saw, what's
I just have to be announced.
the 21st? Yeah, I didn't have calendar. It might be May 11th.
All right, so possibly May 11th.
Yeah, it's a Thursday. I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Thursday, May 11th.
And it's at the Blue Bonnet
Blue
in
Bonnet,
Northampton.
Diner in Northampton.
All right, so look for confirmation information online, but again,
That was in the update email, the arts email, the magazine. It was just
all right, so look in the compass for that. Anything else from the district?
Good evening.
Hi, Fritz.
I just want to remind people to be aware of the expiration date on youth protection training. Please stay up to date with that. I just looked at the list for General Knox. We have about 25 people who either recently expired certification or expired sometime during the fall. And most of those people are merit badge counselors. So I will be sending a separate email to those folks and asking them to get in contact with council. If they no longer wish to be merit badge counselors, that's okay. But they should notify council so we can get them off the list so that our train percentage will then increase by the amount of folks who get off that list. Or if they are considering being active or they think they're being active, then they need to take that youth protection training as soon as possible, because they should not be actively interacting with youth if they're not youth protection trained. You do have about 5 or 6 unit leaders who also expired, and I will be emailing them as well with another reminder to get up to date. Thank you.
How about Heather? Wait, Art's not here tonight.
Like, oh, okay. Definitely make sure, if you need help with the membership recruitment, reach out to myself, Art, or Iris. We'll be happy to help you in any way. We have lots of events filling up. My calendar really is jam packed. I'm looking to get any dates in. But definitely make sure to do your recruitment events, especially spring's the biggest one. And fall coming up, best time to do it, especially right before the end of the scouting year. And then they're looking into the council calendar, for ideas that you guys can do for anything regarding recruitment. There's also webinars that they've been posted through national that give you ideas of how different types of ideas you can get from recruitment. And then definitely in regards to like for the events coming up as well, the air show and so forth. We're always looking for volunteers to help with membership, to help with each of the events. So please reach out to us. And I'm the one running the air show with Barnes with Art. So it's been a lot of fun. And
Yeah, pancake breakfast.
yes, Springfield pancake breakfast, Earth Day.
Good recruiting.
Yes, and especially for the Springfield units as well, because the dire need right now is Springfield fully up in those areas that definitely we need to get this gun into the communities, especially for families that it can make a big impact on, excuse me. So any help we can get, please help us out, because I'm running thin right now.
And even having our scouts at the events in their
Yes.
uniforms is advertising scouting.
And it can be, instead of doing as recruitment, just to volunteer there in your uniform, and that's a plea of recruitment. So, yes,
In regards to the air show,
yes.
and are we having a booth there?
There's gonna be a table there for the aviation. There's gonna be one for the jamboree. And we're gonna be helping out in regards to cleanup and whatever they tell us to help them out with. We're gonna be doing there. So whoever would like to stay at the table with us, I'm gonna be every which way. So definitely let me know if you guys would like to volunteer there and help out, because all hands right now for a whole weekend is
Yeah,
all day.
And I
so.
think there's a small planning meeting. I think it may be this weekend to learn
I
a little
haven't
bit
been told
more.
about it.
So as soon as more specifics
Yes.
are available, I'm sure they'll be coming out.
When it comes to spring recruiting, the availability of summer camp is a huge hook.
Yes, definitely. We actually got some units that actually got the kids to go. So definitely, please spread the word, and if you need any help, please let myself, Iris, or Art know, and we'll be happy to come to any of the units for the meetings and your membership drives and help you guys out.
And I didn't see Andrew online, so just a reminder, Order the Arrows, the spring induction weekend's coming up, second weekend of May. Same weekend as the pancakes, same weekend as the air show, but another great opportunity. They also have the honor of hosting the section conclave this spring, so a great event if you have youth and adults in the Order of the Arrow to get involved this weekend. And they did confirm this yesterday, that week one, they will be offering their Become Tech Summer Experience. That is for any youth that are in the Order of the Arrow can attend summer camp. I think the price is $200. Instead of doing merit badges in the morning, they do the morning of service, and then the rest of the day is open program for them. If scouts are going with their troop, they can stay with their troop and go participate in this, and then participate with their troop the rest of the day, or there is a provisional Order of the Arrow unit that will be there for them. So a great opportunity to come to camp, lower price, second week, although it might be their first week, and give back as well. To do that, they have to register for camp, and then, like picking a merit badge, they pick PSE, Come Tech Summer Experience, and that gives them a discount that comes off their price. All right, Mary.
Well, that's right here. All righty.
More towards me. I'll make it work. There you go.
My backs to everybody. Hi, everybody. So BSA recognitions, huge thing. We're running a program where we do immediate recognition for our youth on a regular basis, and we need to do that for our adults as well. So this evening, we would actually like to start off by acknowledging that TJ Noonan has completed his Commissioner Arrowhead Award and will be receiving that at a later date. So thank you very much for all of your hard work. So pretty much every leadership position that we have has some form of recognition award. Commissioners, they have their Arrowhead, they have their key. Cub Scouting, our premier program for our younger children. The adult leaders there earn training recognitions. Training recognition is now a same symbol. It used to be back in the day, you had like one for, wolves, one for tiger, one for bear, and you had all these different nuts, which is why I have multiple colors. Now they actually just do the one nut, and you actually get cute little devices for each level that you've completed, which is kind of a neat change. That way you don't have like the big salad on your uniform anymore. You just have like little devices. The requirements for that are completing the training for your position, having the tenure in your position, and also attending 4 roundtables, a university of scouting, or something of the equivalent. Universities of scouting are great. They are usually day-long programs where you learn a whole bunch of different experiences, skills, programs, and everything else. We don't currently offer them in our council, but they are available throughout the whole state, Connecticut rivers, and everywhere else. So that's our Cub Scouts. Boy Scouts, same thing. You have your Scouter's key and your Scouter's knot. Again, same thing. Leadership is, your position specific trained is required. Your attendance at roundtables. So pretty much the same requirements. In addition to that, you've got your religious emblems. You've got a couple whose names we don't see them very often, so I actually had to look them up. You've got the James E. West Award, which is financial support for the council. And what else did we have? Veteran Scouters, depending on how long you've been around. You've got your years of service. There's also the William Boyce Award, which is for opportunities to start a new pack or new unit. On top of that, once you've gotten through all of those, we also have our District Award of Merit. That's, again, awarded on what you've done on the district level. And from there, you can lead into your Silver Beaver Award, which you have to be nominated for. Usually have to earn the District Award of Merit first, but it is not mandatory. So there's a lot of different opportunities to recognize the adults as they're doing their job. One of the things that we sometimes forget about is, sometimes our leaders may not be able to make all the roundtables they need for their training knot, or maybe they haven't served long enough. But at the end of the scouting year, it's always nice to at least acknowledge how much you've appreciated them. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It doesn't have to be a big gift or anything like that. But we have some great just certificate of appreciation. And it's just good to make sure that they're feeling appreciated as well, because they put a lot of time in, they volunteer a lot of their time. So maybe we're not doing a big recognition at a district dinner or something, but definitely at the unit, we should really be acknowledging all the hard work they put into the program for the year with their kids.
One thing that I would add, Mary, is that there are adults who will say, oh, well, I'm not in this for the awards. I'm not in this for the recognition. But if we want our youth to be incentivized for their awards and their recognitions, we need to show them that as adults, we're working towards ours as well. Okay.
Ray has his hand up. I'm not sure. If
Okay,
I'll
Ray.
be happy to present.
Hi there. I just wanted to ask, I know for the Den Leader Training Award, it was previously Tiger, Cub, and Webelos, and then they recently added Lion. But as far as devices to go on the nut, I don't think there's a Lion device yet. Do we know if one of those is coming out, or is that still possibly in the works?
I believe the awards are now just for Den Leader.
Right, but they added Lion, because I was a Lion Den Leader last year, and I wasn't expecting to be able to do the Den Leader Training Award, but then I looked at the form again, and they added a checkbox for Lion. And I know like we've got another Lion Den Leader this year as things tend to work, so just, as I'm telling people about, what that knot on my uniform is about, it'd be helpful to be able to tell them, yeah, as you go through, there is a thing that you can put on there as you get this multiple times.
Yeah, the BSA has been discontinuing that device system,
Okay.
so I'm not positive. Yeah, but
I'm gonna have to
but
find
it's
them
wall
all.
supplies last, I believe. Many of those
Okay.
continued.
Well, Brian,
Thank you.
Yeah.
what Greg is saying.
They're also a pain if they fall off in the laundry.
They're easier than sewing on a little knot.
They are, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So, in addition to the formal recognitions, like Mary said, you will have volunteers who may not be registered leaders. You will have some volunteers who just do one event or another and are maybe you want to give them some sort of recognition. You can create some certificates, and we've got some samples of those to show you, but there are also some fun awards that you can come up with.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're out of this world, you can give them a Milky Way or a Mars bar, and if they're magnificent and marvelous, throw out some M&Ms at them. If you've got, whether it's an adult or a youth, a great camper, Jolly Ranchers are great. What's that one?
Sweetener.
Oh, equal sweetener. That's right. The little packets of artificial sweetener when it comes to outreaching kids, you have no equal. This will be part of things, but there are lots of them. I love whatchamacallit, who forgets the names of things. And somewhere along in there is a, oh, there was another one too. Symphony candy bar. I don't see it on there. Oh, there it is. That one would be Greg's award as the song leader. Yeah, and so you can come up, there are loads of them listed on the internet. You can do a search for candy bar awards, fun awards, kinds of things like that. Or you can create some of your own certificates. These are some that we did for within General Knox. Yeah, so we had somebody who was putting it all together one year for us, and we found a thing, created an award. Okay. Another one was the Commissioner of the Year. You gave them some lifesavers for saving commissioners. The certificates of appreciation, and we used our General Knox district logo, if you want to call it that we have used in the background for a while. Yep. Helping Hand Award. And there should be one more. Oh, lighting up the meetings. And colorful ideas. So you can come up with any kind of a thing and then go looking for clip art or whatever to help you with things. So don't be afraid. You don't have to use just formal BSA awards and recognitions. And believe me, our award and recognition for tonight's winning chef is not BSA. Okay, we can head to breakouts now, Greg.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sorry, everyone, we had some technical difficulties there. So our theme for tonight is Cub Scout games indoors and outdoors. There's one person in the room with me. Oh, Ellie's way in the back. Hi, Ellie. But welcome to all the rest of you online. I'm glad that you're here with me. Who do I have, Greg? I have Josh, I have Jean. Hi, Iris. Lynn, Ray, Rachel, Aaron. Okay. So guys, feel free to unmute and shout stuff out. Don't raise your hand because I can't see you really that well. So if you want to participate, just jump right in because I'm not going to call on people because I'm standing a little far away and it's hard for me to see. But our topic tonight is indoor games, outdoor games. So we're getting into spring. We're getting into the point in the year where we want to go outside with our Cub Scouts and have fun and play games. Of course, the weather doesn't always cooperate here in New England, so we got to be prepared for either or. So what I wanted to do tonight is, one, I was gonna start the conversation, but I wanted to have a conversation about some ideas you have, that things that have worked in your pack. I'll share things that have worked in the past, in the pack, my pack with me. But let's just have a conversation about this. So let's start with the great outdoors. There's all kinds of games that you can play outside. Just different variations of tag, just all kinds of different things. I had a couple, well, I'm drawing a blank on it now. But what do you guys like to do with your cubs outside? What are some ideas?
I'll
Steven?
go. So we had
Yeah.
our pack meeting just last week. We actually went up to Hatfield to go see a guy that had some model trains there, but they could only fit half of our pack at once, so we had to do half in, half out.
Yeah.
So for outdoors, we just played kickball. We
Mhm.
went and bought a kickball, and somebody had some bases, and so half the scouts played for 30 minutes doing kickball, while the other half could see the model trains.
Yeah,
It
so,
worked out well.
and that's a good use case for how games are important. It's always important to have something in your back pocket, because you get into a situation where, in Steven's case, they had to split into 2 groups. So what are you going to do to occupy your scouts while they're waiting? What are some other ideas? What are some other good games that you played outside with your Cub Scouts?
Steal the bacon.
Steal the Bacon, a classic one. Yeah, there's all kinds of variations of that as well. But yeah, it's always a lot of fun. You know, gets them out, gets them running. How about some other ideas? No?
Capture the den leader.
Capture the 10 leader.
We do one in and outdoors. I have a bunch of 2-foot ropes.
Yeah.
So I make them tie it all together and then not catch me, but rescue me out of the water.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
That's a good one. I've done a variation of that one too, where I have just a whole bunch of ropes. And this one will work either indoors or outdoors, where I just toss them around, and there's a lot of different variations. With my Cub Scouts, I used to, all right, let's see divide them up into small teams, and how many square knots can you tie? How many ropes can you join together with square knots? And then I give them points for, I forget, I do 5 points for a real square knot and only 2 points for a granny knot. Because, there was always a few of those in there too. But it was a good way to keep them occupied. It was a simple way. They really enjoyed it. And then on top of it, they're learning their knot skills. And I like Gene's idea of, maybe for your Weeblo Scouts or AOL Scouts, throw in a bowline and have them rescue the leader. That's a good idea too. Other ideas?
Like relay races.
Absolutely. Relay races are a classic one. Once again, you can do all kinds of different variations of that. I've seen one where you have like a ball and you do it, first person does it over their head, the person behind them, and then the next person has to go between their legs, and you just go back and forth, and then the last person runs up to the front, and you start it all over again, and you keep going until the person that started in front is back in the front. So another great option. Classic relay race where you just have a baton. There's all kinds of options there of what you can do. Any other thoughts?
We do one like that. I call it kangaroo relay. So I'll keep extra balloons in my bag. Or if we have a beach ball or something, they have to keep it between their legs and hop.
Yep.
Like a kangaroo across, and then they can hand it to the next person and they hop back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always a lot of fun. Especially with a balloon or something like that, because invariably one of them pops it and you'll have to start over again. But anyway.
Things like blanket ball.
Yeah.
Or just keeping the beach ball or balloon up in the air. And competition. If you've got a couple of beach balls, a couple of balloons, you can have the different deads competing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Another one I've done is like a relay race with balloons, where you have to, you have to bat it to the other end and then come back, hand it off to the next person and come back. But yeah, all those are good ideas. The one thing that I'll say about Cub Scout games, keep them simple. You know, these guys that are guys and girls, they have a lot of fun just with simple stuff. You don't need to make it complicated, makes it easy to understand. Everybody can get involved and you can have a fun time. And it surprising at this age, it doesn't take a lot to entertain them. I think you guys all know that because you're all dealing with Cub Scouts. What about some indoor games? One of the things that I did with my pack a couple times that was a huge hit is, I don't know if you've ever seen, it was an old TV show in the early 2000s, I want to say, but it was called Minute to Win It, and they have all these 1 minute challenges. And if you look it up online, you can get all these great ideas. One of my favorites was you have a bowl of Skittles, and now we're, you know, a little more conscious about germs. I'd make sure each kid had their own individual packet of Skittles, and you give them a straw, and you got to see how many Skittles they can move from one bowl to the other in a minute with only the straw. So they got to suck up the Skittle against the straw and move it over and release it. When I did it, I found out that there's quite a lot of saliva that gets on the Skittles. So that's why I recommend, yeah, each kid has their own Skittles.
I've seen something similar to that using an egg carton and marshmallows.
Uh-huh.
And so which team can fill up the
Marshmallows,
fill
yeah.
up the egg carton with the marshmallows.
Another fun one that I did is I had like a plastic soup bowl, and I filled it with ping pong balls and gave them a spoon, a plastic spoon, and you had to hold the spoon in your mouth and move the ping pong balls from one bowl to another. And how many could you do in a minute? So, and there, you know, one year I did it where I told all my den leaders, okay, each den leader has to have their own Minute to Win It game, and that's what we're going to do for activities for a pack meeting. We went around and the kids had a blast, and it was really cool to see some of the creative things that the parents would come up. One had where you took a piece of spaghetti and then you had the penne pasta or rigatoni or whatever, and you had to see how many, just with the spaghetti in your mouth, how many you could get of the rigatoni you could get on the piece of spaghetti without it breaking. So it's a lot of fun. Other ideas?
There's a really fun activity. I don't know if you want to call it a game or not. And we did it years ago at a roundtable where everyone stands in a line with their hands on the shoulders of the person in front of them. So you're making a big circle.
Okay.
And then you all sit at the same time, and you are actually sitting on the knees of the person behind you, and then you all let go. And you,
oh wow.
Yeah, it is really cool. None of you fall down, and then to get out of it, you put your hands back on the shoulders of the person in front, and you all stand up at the same time.
That's a neat idea.
It's a really neat challenge.
Yeah,
but it's really cool.
You have to have same size kids on that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Although we all at a round table, and we were all
there's a lot of different sizes of round table too, so it would work. Any other ideas?
We have room with where we meet because we have a gymnasium, and I'm big into fishing, so I have a lot of my kids' old fishing poles. So I'll take and put bowls out or things out away, and they try to cast and get I don't have one to show you. It's just a little rubber fish to try and get it into it, you know. And they always ask for that. And what I do to make it a little more challenging, so it's not just whipping the fishing line around, is I'll give them each 3 pieces of rope, say tie me a square knot, tie me a granny knot, or tie me, pick a knot. And for every knot they get correct, they get that many casts.
Oh, okay.
So it gives them, so they want to not just tie a knot and give up. And that same goes for other ones where we have, I have an indoor Velcro tomahawk range that they love throwing that at. We stick it to the wall. Same thing. You get 3 throws if you tie 3 knots correctly.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Gene, to build a skill-based activity into a game, and that way it makes it fun. And that's, what Cub Scouts is all about, is having fun. So that's a really good idea.
Probably. Yeah, probably for the Webelos and Arrow of Lights. There's a relay that I saw for Scouts BSA around the fishing where you have all of the different pieces from your swivel and your lure and things, and you have to tie all of the correct knots and put them all in correct order. But you're learning the fishing knots.
Fishing knots, yeah. Yep. What are some other ideas?
I always
wash,
have cups. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
No, okay. I always have cups in different sizes, and I give like a minute or two, and they have to build like the taller tower or structures in that time. So, and sometimes I do it like a relay too. I put the cup in one table, and in the other side of the room I have another table, so they have to go back and forth grabbing the cups and then build the tower in that time.
Okay, yep. Josh, did you have something too?
Yeah, a lot of times we do a washer toss or like a paper boy, where you take like, that weekly newspaper you get, tape it up with, roll it up and tape it up so that way you can reuse it. And you just take a mat, whether there's a rug in the room and they've got to, deliver the newspaper. Kids always love throwing things, so sometimes it gets out of hand.
Yeah.
But another one we've done is marbles. You dump marbles out into like a hula hoop on the floor, so they contain a cup, a spoon, and a straw, and they've got to pick up the marble just using the spoon and the straw and put it into the cup.
That's a good one. Along the lines of kids liking to throw things back, and I know it's not bear required anymore, but back when Bear Carnival was a required for during the bear rank, we had our Bear Carnival every November at our pack meeting, and one of the games that came up every year was somebody made what looked like a toilet out of a box.
Yeah.
The idea was just the toilet, roll of toilet paper into the toilet. That was always a big hit. It's so simple and so easy, but kids just loved it because they loved the idea of just tossing the toilet paper.
The Tiger Den, there's the games Tigers play now.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of in the activity guide for the Den leader. There's a bunch of listed games to play in there too.
Okay, that's a good resource. I don't know if you guys heard that, but in the Tiger Den leader resources in the games Tigers play,
Tigers play, I believe.
Games Tigers play.
That's one of the activities that they're required to do.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good ideas there as well.
And if you have any old resources, the how-to book, the Cub Scout how-to book is just loaded with indoor, outdoor, small group, quiet, active, breaks it all.
And you can find that book online with the simple browser search. Cub Scout how-to book. As a PDF. A couple that I always had a hula hoop around, so having everybody hold hands and then climb past the hula hoop around, have a hula hoop go in two different directions are fun. And one I had seen on the internet a couple of years ago was a floor tic-tac-toe game where I just put tape on the floor, but I had two different color plastic lunch plates.
Okay.
And you gave them each as many plates as they needed, but a person from each team had to run out. So I could, if you and I were playing, if you were red and I was blue, so I could take the red one and run out and place it on a square. And when I got back, you had the choice. You could take my plate off and bring it back, or you could take my plate or move it, or you could take your plate and put it somewhere.
Okay.
So, and you didn't have to wait for, but just the two people at a time running back, or the teams.
The teams, yeah.
It's a fun way to get them active and playing a game with a twist.
Yeah.
Have you ever done Human Knot?
Human Knot. Oh, is that the one where you?
Yeah.
Where, everybody kind of puts in and
everybody puts in and grabs a different hand. And then you have to untwist
twist yourself
without letting go.
And eventually end up as a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seen that. That's a lot of fun. Other thoughts? Ideas?
I don't.
In the tic-tac-toe range, I always like to have like a tic-tac-toe paper, and I put it in team the kids, and they do exercise. So each of the part of the tic-tac-toe is a different exercise. So if they put the mark in one, they have to do the exercise that they mark, and then of course they have to do the three, in the line, but they have to do the exercise that they mark on. So that's a way to cover like exercise type in the games.
Get some of the fitness requirements in. That's good.
what we did a holiday party this year. So we did a game where there's a cup in the middle of the table and there's a scout on each end of the table holding a string, and they had to take they had to take 3 candy canes and hook them on the string and then work together to get them into the cup. But it was like a water bottle, like size cup, like that kind of narrow. So they had to really work together to get it to go in, and they kept wanting to play it over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, when you find something that works, they you know right away, and they keep wanting to go back to it. They have fond memories of those types of games.
And if you're a wise leader, you will take that and just develop a different seasonal or themed activity around that same game.
Yeah. Another simple game that I always carried with me that I made one year and always carried it with me to PAC meetings or den meetings if I had a few minutes is I took 12 of the large craft sticks and wrote on each one of the 12 craft sticks, I wrote 1 point of the Scout Law. And then I would toss them on the floor and say, okay, now go put them in order.
That's a good one.
Yeah, so that was, kept them occupied it's a short game, but it's something they liked, and it drives home the Scout Law.
Oh, you meant the correct order.
Yeah, right. Yeah, details. Yeah, so every once in a while you'd go through and you got a couple out of line there and try again, but they'd get it.
There are a couple that I used to do when I was doing Cub Scout resident camp, and one was a container with rice, and I would put in a lot of different little trinkets, a paper clip, a candle, a pin, a little charm or something, and I would have a list, but they would, and then seal the cover, and they would have to rotate.
Have to find it right. Yeah.
All of the different little things in it. Another one was with a photograph, cutting it into 5 sections and numbering each section, both front and back, starting with the picture face down, and roll a die. You turn it over.
Yeah.
Roll the die again, turn over the next one. Even if it was face up, if you rolled that same number, you had to fold it face
flip it down.
back down. 6 was roll again, and you had to just keep going until you got the whole picture turned over.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But that was a really good quiet kind of activity too.
Yeah.
Well, I think my timer was wrong.
Okay.
again. So until the other group gets here.
They should be coming in shortly.
All right. Any other last minute ones? We're about ready to come back together.
Let's discuss like we have the winning lottery numbers for this weekend when the other team joins.
Okay.
We're not allowed to do games of chance.
Yeah, no games of chance.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, non-scouting. It's this weekend, not there.
Oh yeah, all
You're
right.
gonna get us in trouble, Jim.
I'll be quiet.
So while I have you captive for another moment, I'll just put one more plug in for Baloo. And I know several of you on here are on my staff, so you guys know a lot about it. But if you haven't had a chance to register yet, please do so. It'll be a good weekend. We'll have a lot of fun and learn a lot. So it's always good to have multiple people from your pack trained in Baloo. So that's our session, and the other group's coming back in, and we'll turn it back over to Ellie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So for those of you who were not here in person, we had several different goodies at the back of the room. We had a pancake cupcake with a maple buttercream frosting. We had some maple walnut muffins with a maple butter. Some maple, macaron? Macarons. Some maple cranberry mustard glazed frankfurters. Some maple shortbread cookies. And then we had a recipe for stuffed pancakes, if I remember correctly. The winning chef this evening was Matt Tassinari with his maple shortbread cookies.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, please come down and get your best dish award. And we spared no expense. We got you 100 grand.
Oh, wow.
Well, like any other good scout, I gotta thank somebody behind the scenes. Thanks, Mom, for helping me. And I'll be passing the 100 grand off to my mom. So thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Yeah, that was fun.
So one of the hopes is that as we progress and do some more in-person roundtables, that we'll be able to add a themed kind of food for each month and actually have the units start competing and volunteering to bring some little noshes, little bites, bring a piece, and we'll have a prize each time for the chef. Right? Do we have any leader forum, open forum questions, conversations, anything before we do close it?
One thing on the Cub Scout question about the leaders and 72-hour rule. So you said now it's immediate family. So if there's an uncle, if they're not a technical legal
Has to be the
guardian,
legal guardian.
so then they would have to, then those would apply the same rule of being a registered leader with YPT, well, I guess YPT training. Okay.
Any questions from anybody in our virtual audience? TJ.
I recently had the pleasure of joining my troop because my scouts were asking me, what's the 12th law mean? What is reverence? And outside of rolling my eyes and really questioning whether they did know it or not, other than them telling me it's to go to church. Maybe, but not entirely. And we were talking about interactive and getting them involved. So after our discussion, I wanted to tie in the whole conversation with a closing prayer. So I have some ropes here. I would like all of you to come on down and grab one, and we'll form an oval here in the front. Thanks, Eric. And once you get your ropes, yes, you're being roped into an activity. Oh, here all week, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to tip your waiters and waitresses, please.
How much time is this going to tie up?
Oh, they just keep on coming.
How many knots we making?
How many can I make?
Not very funny.
So the
Mary
important thing
doesn't
that
have a rope.
each one of you have, Mary, would you like to join in? Greg, would you like to join in?
Doing the reindeer games.
Okay.
See, you brought just enough.
Each of you have a rope. The symbol of scouting is the square knot. So I would ask that each one of you connect your ropes to one another by creating a square knot with the linking of both of them. So both of you, square knot here. You have a scout.
Left over right, right over left.
And with this, we are forming our square knot circle of friendship. Do we have our? No. Okay.
We have remedial knot tying over here, so.
Oh, okay. It's a crossover. Is this crossed over?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 years in the waiting.
See? Now with your scouts, if you have the room, which we do not have the ample room, you would ask your scouts to take the rope and stretch it out, walk backwards, and actually utilize the rope and the creation of the square knot to show strength. And now the statement is, you are now part of a group of close friends held together by a square knot. the symbol of helping one another. And at that point, we would finish with a prayer, and you're able to repeat after me, please. This is the prayer of thanksgiving and great for the Scouts. Repeat after me, please. We thank you for today.
We thank you for today.
We thank you for the adventure in scouting.
We thank you for the adventure in scouting.
We thank our unselfishness of our parents.
We thank you for the unselfishness of our parents.
We thank you for the patience of teachers
We thank you for the patience of teachers.
and for the encouragement of our friends.
And for the encouragement of our friends.
Amen.
Amen.
So close.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening, and we will see you virtually in May.